Hey everyone, my name is Jose Avalos. I'm an account manager with Blue People. Thank you so much for being with us again today for another episode of Blue Live. Today we have a special guest. We have Javi Carro. I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell you a little bit more about what he does at Blue People and how long he's been with the team.
Hi, Astro. Yes, my name is Javier Carro. I'm COO for Blue People. I'm in charge of the operations team. And here we handle a lot of different types of projects, software projects, implementing different methodologies, different technologies. So we have a very nice team here in order to handle and to attend our customers.
Awesome. Well, can you tell me more about that team? I know that there's a lot of developers on it. I'd like to know, and I think everybody else too, how are you guys during this crazy coronavirus time where the world is working from home and trying to figure that out? Can you tell us more about your team and how everything's working for you guys to still get work done?
Yeah, sure. So we're a company of about 30 people inside in our software factory, plus our outsourcing side. This 30 is including developers, business analysts, QA agents, project managers, and other different roles, specific roles. And well, before this pandemic, we were already a company that practiced home office several days a week. So we didn't have any problems going 100% home office. All mechanisms were already in place by the time this reached our country. Mechanisms such as communication tools, policies, rules, methodologies. Actually, we have our own application to monitor and control all of our projects. That's called BlueSurf. This is an application that we built in-house, and it gives you a lot of metrics, boards, reports, and everything you need to know in order for a project to become successful.
Well, it sounds like you manage quite a lot of people and projects and processes on the team. Can you tell me how you got to that level? Is there some certifications you had to get, or just some? I'm curious, kind of where you got your education to be able to handle this team.
Right. Yes, that's a very interesting question. Blue People has around 5 years since it was made from zero, and 2 years ago, approximately, we obtained the CMMI Level 5 model, and that's, let's say, the most valuable certification as far as software companies. And this model allowed us to mature a lot of our processes. We have other types of certifications also concerning the cloud, concerning AWS, concerning other partners, ISO, credentials. But yes, we have changed our processes a lot. Yeah, and actually we're not afraid to keep changing our process in order to continue improving.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you so much for that. So on that topic, speaking about value, I know that it's something that everybody we've interviewed with always mentions. How does Blue People continuously deliver value through the process? So I'd like to hear your answer. Maybe it has something to do with how the team works, the methods you guys follow, or just simply the type of leadership that is there.
Right. So as far as methodologies, everything began long ago with waterfall methodologies such as RUP, vModel, Spiral, etc. And with the creation of the Agile manifesto around 2001, new methodologies began to emerge called Agile methodologies, such as Scrum, Lean, Kanban, XP, SAFe, etc. And at that point, everyone wanted to go Agile. Nowadays, everyone wants to implement these Agile methodologies. The thing is that it is impossible to be Agile when you have to stick to a set of requirements that are initially contracted, having very little to no room for change. And that's the most cases. Most of the projects begin with a set of requirements that are already contracted. And that's starting with that, it is very difficult to go Agile. So, for example, software companies are struggling to trying to implement Scrum practices because the scope is defined. and Scrum says, or the fundamentals of Scrum are that the scope should be variable, right? This is the reason why Scrum but methodologies started. I'm company A, and I say, yes, I follow Scrum, but I don't follow this specific practice. Yes, I do Scrum, but I'm adding these other practices for my operation. So this is a very important topic that most of the companies are struggling with, implementing agile methodologies.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, well, that's good to hear that most development teams are following these. So, what specifically is Blue People doing to maintain themselves agile?
All right, so 2 years ago, we have come to drastically change our strategy and go truly agile. Being truly agile means constantly delivering value to customers and end users without the struggle of trying to fulfill requirements just because they were initially negotiated, and even though they are not relevant anymore for the project. So we have teams that are only focused on what the customer really needs and not on what was originally thought it needed. That team won't develop requirements just to mark another task as done, which can lead to increased costs and failed projects. Uh, Having initial requirements is a good thing as long as you use them to make roadmaps, plans, or for budgeting purposes, budget estimates, but not to make rigid projects with them, right? So Blue People, instead of having fixed scope projects, we have variable scope projects with a complete agile team. Constant estimates are being made throughout the project, and with that, change is no longer a problem. The teams are prepared to change direction at any given time, to change requirements or change the team itself.
That's interesting. So I get why it's good for Blue People and for your team to be truly agile because you're not really stuck to something. But how do you tell the client that when everything that they've ever done, they had strict requirements? And can you tell me about that conversation and how do you convince the client to say, okay, this is the better way, even though we're not going to have strict requirements throughout the whole process?
Right, and that's a very good question. What we do is we do a very detailed breakdown of these functionalities or requirements, and the key here is transparency. So actually, I mentioned earlier that we had an application that we developed called BlueServe, and BlueServe, it's very interesting because you can see there, and the whole team, talking about the customer team and our team, which are a one team, can see the same picture every time. They can see all the requirements, and all the team is always involved in prioritizing and changing, right? So if there is something there that is no longer relevant or important for the project or for the end user, well, the product owner, which is a role very important on our customer side, is going to decide if that requirement is relevant or not, right? So transparency is the key. Having very, very detailed and visual reports of what's going on in the project, it's substantial and it's very important for a project to be successful.
Perfect. Well, that, as you know, talking to a lot of clients, I think that is a good point to know that they still, you're working with a team that is going to only focus on making sure that there's value delivered the entire time. And I think that's pretty good. Well, speaking about the client, I know something that everybody at Blue People is always really proud of is knowing that a lot of your clients turn into allies. Can you tell me how that happens?
Yeah, sure. So our customers eventually, we become allies to them, and the key here is trust, right? So whenever we start a project with a new customer, there's always an evaluation process that the customer is doing to us because they want to know if we are really good at software development, right? So we are very enthusiastic, and we care so much about the project that we involve the customer in our process and in our methodologies, and that's the way we gain the trust of our customers. So we become allies, we become technological allies for our customers, instead of just suppliers that are developing a set of requirements, right? So actually now our customers ask us for proposals for future requirements or for future projects, in order to make their application more robust, or in order to make other applications that can automate their process or optimize some of their operations. And that's the key on choosing a supplier for software development. It's someone that you can trust, someone that you know that is going to get the work done, and someone that is going to be honest and transparent with you.
Great. Well, it looks like you guys have a lot of clients that really trust you. During this time of uncertainty that we're facing, not just, here between Mexico and the US, but in the world, is there anything that Blue People is doing to help the world right now? There's a lot of corporations that are standing up, developing new technologies or new services to help. Is there something we should know about Blue People?
Yes. So actually, for this, or to overcome this COVID crisis, we are currently waiving license fees for any company who wishes to use our software application BlueSurf in order to monitor and control their projects. So right now there are a lot of companies that are using this product in their software factories, or on any other company. It's not just for software companies. And we have also had interviews and sessions, meetings with customers that know that we have been working in home office for a long time, to help them to get on board with this. They ask us, and we share all the rules that we have in place, the policies, our communication tools, and all this methodology, in order to be focused on results, not only on efforts. So yes, it's been pretty interesting how these customers that asks for our help are already implementing these practices, and they actually have also overcome this crisis and being 100% at home office with no problem.
Perfect. Well, now I want to know your personal thoughts about a few things. Where do you think the home office model is going, moving forward? As nobody knows, 3 months ago when coronavirus first started, we thought it was just going to be a few weeks, and then, we're back to normal. Now I think it's, speaking July 1st today, it's getting bad again, to say the least. Where do you think that leaves software companies moving forward?
Well, we know that micromanagement is a thing of the past. We can no longer walk past cubicles and see if everybody is working or not. Now we have to be focused on results. So now is the perfect opportunity for software development companies to shift their focus from micromanagement to a result-oriented workforce, in which leaders should care about getting work done by giving all the necessary tools to do it. At Blue People, we are already ahead of the curve, and our strategy was already to become a 100% remote company.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Javi, COO of Blue People, I have one more question before we're finished. So you obviously clearly know your team, the industry, and thank you so much for sharing your insight on it. You may have to do a second interview pretty soon, but I want to ask about your knowledge of something different. I've had the chance to visit beautiful Monterrey, where you guys are headquartered, and to me it was the tacos. But what is your favorite thing that Monterrey has to offer?
Actually, my favorite food here is tacos. Any kind of tacos. Yeah.
You have a favorite spot?
Yeah. Actually, they are like 2 blocks from here, from where I live. So I have tacos my favorite taco is very near.
Awesome. And if anybody wants to go visit the home office in Monterrey, you'll take them there?
Oh yes, sure, sure, no doubt.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much again. Again, my name is Jose Avalos. I'm an account manager. I'm actually based here in Houston, Texas. So I help out anybody up here that wants to connect with the Blue People team, with people like Javi or any of the other people we've interviewed. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any other questions, just send us a message and our team will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you.